Welcome to Unit 4 of BA 3rd SEM DSC, Discipline Specific Course in English, that is 19th and 20th century English literature, in which we studied the novel The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Let us have a structured overview of Joseph Conrad's novella, that is Heart of Darkness. So I would like to highlight all the aspects of this novel. First, I would like to introduce Joseph Conrad and the context in which this novel was written. Joseph Conrad was born in 1857 and died in 1924. Polish-born British novelist, born Joseph Theodore Conrad Korzeniowski, spent nearly 20 years as a merchant marine sailor, experiences heavily influencing his writing. So let us have a background to this novel, Heart of Darkness, which was published in 1899. The present novel is partly based on Conrad's dramatic 1890 journey up the Congo River as a steamboat captain for a Belgian trading company. It was written during the height of European imperialism. So there is a phrase, scramble for Africa. The novel mainly reflects the brutal realities of King Leopold II's Congo Free State, exploitation, forced labor, atrocities, etc. So, part of the modernist literary movement, the novel explores the psychological depth, ambiguity, fragmented narrative, critique of civilization, disillusionment. So, let's have overall plot overview of this novel. Framing device. First one is framing device. Narration begins on the Thames River aboard the Nelly. Marlowe recounts his story to friends. Marlowe's commission. He gets a job with the company trading ivory in Africa. Travels to the outer station, witnessing inefficiency and decay. So the another one is journey inland travels by steamer towards the inner station, encountering the central station manager obsessed with cars, finds steamer wrecked, delays for repairs. So the journey upriver. Steamer slowly progresses through oppressive jungle, sense of foreboding, encounters with natives, finds a hut with mysterious note. So arrival at inner station. So met by a Russian harlequin who idealizes Kurds, sees native admirers and severed heads on stakes. Kurz is ill, almost godlike to locals. So, confronting Kurz, Marlowe meets the charismatic but physically and morally wasted Kurz. Kurz tries to escape the steamer but is brought back by Marlowe. He uses the phrase at the end, the horror. Kurz dies aboard the steamer during the return journey. Uttering his final ambiguous words, Marlowe falls ill. So return to Europe, Marlowe recovers and visits Kurt's intended fiancée, lies to her about Kurt's last words, preserving her idealized image of him. Framing device is concerned. As far as framing device is concerned, Marlowe finishes his tale. The narrator on the Nelly observes the dark flowing Thames. So these are some of the things about the novel. So as far as major characters of the novel are concerned, Marlowe is the narrator, the protagonist of the novel. He is thoughtful, experienced seaman, represents the questioning observer trying to understand Kurz and the darkness he encounters. So he embodies ambiguity and moral complexity. Kurz, as far as character sketch of Kurz is concerned, he is the legendary company agent stationed deepest in the jungle, charismatic, brilliant. So there is a line about him: all Europe contributed to the making of Kurz. Initially idealistic, there is another line: suppression of savage customs report, but corrupted by power, greed, and isolation. He becomes a tyrannical demigod, symbolizing the extremes of colonialism and the human capacity for evil. So his final words, as I said, the horror are central to the novel's meaning. The manager, central station, he represents the petty, hollow, and of course utterly efficient banality of colonial evil, motivated solely by self-preservation and career advancement, views Kurz as a threat. The Russian trader is, as far as Russian trader is concerned, Harlequin, a naive, youthful disciple of Kurz, who wears patched clothes like a harlequin, who represents blind admiration and the dangerous allure of Kurz ideas. Kurz African mistress, who is proud, majestic, powerful presence. She symbolizes the wilderness and the life Kurz embraced and exploited, which contrasts starkly with the intended. The intended Kurz innocent, shattered fiancé in Europe, who represents the new idealism and ignorance of civilized society, but the realities of colonialism. So Marlowe lies to protect her illusion. The narrator on the Nelly listens to Marlowe's story. His closing reflection links the themes to the Congo, suggesting darkness is universal. So, as far as the major themes of this novel are concerned, the first one is colonialism and imperialism. It's a scathing critic exposes the greed, hypocrisy, brutality, robbery within violence, and dehumanization inherent in the colonial enterprise. So it reveals the civilizing mission as a facade of exploitation, which focuses on Belgian Congo atrocities but implicates all European powers. So another theme is the darkness. Literal meaning is the African jungle, the unknown, obscurity. Moral and spiritual themes are the capacity of evil within the human heart, savagery beneath civilization, corruption, madness, and the void. As far as metaphysical theme is concerned, it's a fundamental mystery and indifference of the universe, the limits of knowledge. So another theme is civilization versus savagery. So it challenges the novel challenges the simplistic dichotomy, suggests civilization is a thin veneer, the jungle and the isolation strips away pretense, revealing primal instincts. For example, Kurz embodies the descent. So then, as far as another theme is concerned, alienation and isolation. Physical, for example, jungle stations, and psychological alienation. Here is Marlowe's growing detachment, Kurz madness. So these things highlight the fragility of identity and social norms. So the another theme is hollowness of civilization. The company's bureaucracy, the manager's pettiness, Brussels, that means whited sepulchre, the phrase, the intended's delusion, all contrast with the raw, terrifying reality of the Congo, revealing European society's moral emptiness. So another theme is ambiguity of truth and reality. The narrative is subjective, Marlowe's perspective. As far as Marlowe's perspective, so fragmented and full of uncertainties. Meaning is elusive, and we know that, for example, the truth is complex and often disturbing. As far as key symbolism and imagery of the novel are concerned, the river Congo themes, this symbol, journey into the, it refers to journey into the unknown primordial past, artery of trade or exploitation, connection between civilized Europe and dark Africa, cyclical nature of history. So as far as another symbol, darkness or light is concerned, darkness is equal to jungle, and then which is unknown, evil, ignorance, mystery, and light means civilization, knowledge, reason, often shown to be false or weak. So fog here refers to obscurity, confusion, moral blindness. So as far as the symbol of jungle or wilderness is concerned, it's a primal, jungle is a primal force, indifferent nature, overwhelming power, source of both life and decay, catalyst for revealing true selves. So ivory, the symbol ivory, it's a symbol of greed, exploitation, the economic engine of colonialism, curse, obsession. So we come across the line, my intended, my ivory, my station. These lines refer to curse, obsession with these things. Kurds, is a symbol of European idealism corrupted by absolute power and the wilderness, the potential for genius and depravity within one's soul. Severed heads on stakes. This thing refers to ultimate symbol of Kurds' descent into barbaric tyranny, the grotesque reality behind colonial rhetoric. And then as far as the frame narrative is concerned, the Nelly, it links past colonialism to present, suggests darkness is ever present. It emphasizes the act of storytelling and interpretation. As far as the narrative technique of this novel is concerned, we have a frame narrative, that means a story within a story, which creates distance, layers of interpretation. It emphasizes the tale's impact on the listeners, and allows for multiple perspectives. First person narrator Marlowe, which is subjective perspective. It is a subjective perspective. So it colors events with his perceptions, biases, and moral struggles. It creates ambiguity and psychological depth. So he is unreliable narrator, which is very questionable. Marlowe's admits to gaps in understanding, memory lapses, and deliberately lying to the intended, forces reader to actively interpret. So as far as delayed revelation is concerned, we know that information is it is drip fed, building suspense and mystery, especially about Kurz. So atmosphere and impressionism, if we take this point for discussion, Conrad uses vivid sensory language to create an overwhelming atmosphere of oppression, mystery, not only oppression, mystery, decay, and dread. So which focuses on the impression events make on Marlowe's mind. Complex syntax and ambiguity is there in the novel. Conrad's dense, intricate prose mirrors the complexity and impenetrability of the themes and the jungle itself. So we can take a look at some of the critical interpretations or key perspectives about this novel. First one is it is an anti-colonial critique, widely accepted as a powerful condemnation of European imperialism's brutality and hypocrisy. For example, Chinua Achebe acknowledges this despite his other criticism. So the second one is psychological exploration. The novel examines the fragility of human psyche under extreme conditions. The present novel, The Heart of Darkness, as the unconscious or Freudian readings. For example, curse, madness, and all those things. So the third one is third interpretation could be existential or allegorical. For example, journey into the self, confronting the void, the meaninglessness of existence, the burden of knowledge, like that. So the fourth one is the fourth interpretation is Chinua Achebe's critique. That is the line, an image of Africa, racism in Conrad. So which argues that novel is fundamentally racist. Africa as a dehumanized foil for Europe. Africans depicted as primitive, speechless, or savage perpetuates damaging stereotypes, which sparked vital debate. So the fifth interpretation is post-colonial readings. The novel focuses on, focus on the novel's complicity in colonial discourse, even while critiquing it, representation or lack thereof of Africans, Marlowe's limited perspective as a European male. This interpretation can be made. And another last interpretation about this novel is it's a modernist exemplar, because fragmentation, ambiguity, focus on the subjective consciousness, disillusionment within tradition, critique of modernity, and imperialism. So these are some of the few interpretations about this novel. And as far as key passages of the novel are concerned for analysis, the first one is Marlowe on Brussels, that is Whited Sepulchre, exposing the hypocrisy of civilization. The second one is Marlowe finding the company's grow of death, the horror of colonial exploitation. And the third one is Journey Upriver. There are the descriptions of the oppressive jungle and atmosphere. Fourth one is Marlowe's reflections on curse. For example, the vice. He was very little more than a vice. This line can be seen in the novel, curse, power, and abstraction. Fifth one is first sight of curse compound and the heads on stakes, the culmination of curse savagery. And another passage is curse pamphlet, that is exterminate all the brutes. This line and Marlowe's reaction, the perversion of idealism. So this line can be analyzed. And the seventh one is death, the curse death scene. That is, he uses the words horror. It's an ambiguous core of the novel. So the eighth passage about this novel is Marlowe's light to the intended, the choice of protective illusion over devastating truth. And ninth passage is the closing frame on the themes. The line we come across there, this also dash has been one of the dark places. So it has universalizes the darkness. So some of the key aspects about to revise some of the key aspects of this novel, and there is you can see that there is a biographical connection to the Congo. Conrad's biographical connection to the Congo. So the novel as a critique of Belgian colonialism, especially, and European imperialism generally. So the dual meaning of darkness, Kerr's character, his ideals, talents, corruption, and significance. Marlowe's role as narrator and observer, his reliability, his moral journey can be discussed. The contrast between Kerr's African mistress and the intended, and the manager versus Kerr's as types of colonial evil. All these passages are important, or all these points are very important, are some of the key aspects to recapitulate. So we can see there are some major symbols like river, ivory, fog, darkness, heads on stakes. So narrative structure, as I said, frame story and its effects, and the significance of Kerr's final words and Marlowe's lie. These are very important, and as far as the central themes of the novel are concerned, it is about colonialism, civilization versus savagery, darkness within, ambiguity. So even HB's critique and subsequent debates are also very important in this respect. So I would like to focus on some of the important questions, potential questions for examination. The first one is analyze how Conrad uses symbolism, for example, river, darkness, ivory, to develop his critique of colonialism. The second question is discuss Kerr as a tragic figure. What led to his downfall, and what does he represent? And the third question is how does Conrad create a sense of atmosphere and psychological tension in the novel Heart of Darkness? Use specific examples. The fourth question is Marlowe is an unreliable narrator. To what extent do you agree with this statement, and what effect does this have on the reader? And another question is explain the significance of the frame narrative structure in the novel Heart of Darkness. So another sixth question is analyze the meaning and importance of Kerr's final words, the horror. And the seventh question is compare and contrast the characters of the manager and Kerr's. What do they reveal about the colonial system? And the eighth question is discuss the portrayal of Africa and Africans in the novel Heart of Darkness. How might this portrayal be problematic? And ninth question is the novel Heart of Darkness is ultimately within the human soul, not the African continent. Discuss. And the last question, very important question, is why does Marlowe lie to the intended? What does this reveal about his character and the novel's themes? With this, I would like to conclude this fourth unit covering all the aspects of the novel. Thank you, one and all.